The Minnesota Timberwolves fall to the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. And the performance, well, it was laughable by a majority of the Timberwolves roster. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What was the most laughable part? Wow. Tough to choose because there was a lot. But I first need to tell you about 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis because they renovated our bathroom and gave us a masterpiece in 48 hours, a full bathroom remodel. They took our moldy, disgusting, outdated, and embarrassing bathroom and made it into the bathroom of our dreams in 48 hours. It was not a 6 to 8 week long project. It did not cost more than other companies to do the same thing in 8 weeks. We didn't have to cram into our teeny tiny bathroom to get ready for work or school. Our bathroom was done in 48 hours. New floors, new tub, new surround, new vanity, a new double sink. We went from a single sink to a double sink. And this was all done in 48 hours. A full bathroom remodel. If you need your bathroom remodel done right and done conveniently, contact 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis and they will get your project done fast and done right. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. All right, what was the most laughable part of the Timberwolves 114 to 88 loss to the Thunder squad? First I want to say, okay, sure, on the scoreboard, the Timberwolves lost by almost 30 points. But the truth of the matter is they really lost by like 13. The scrubs were in and they played the final few minutes of that game. And the Wolves surrendered. And okay, they really lost by like 13 to 15 points. You look at the score and it looks a lot worse than it actually was. Because it was a competitive game until the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, the Timberwolves never really put a dent in the lead that the Thunder accumulated in the third quarter. And my first takeaway, because this is when the game turned. The Timberwolves were up 60 to 56 after Edwards found Mike Conley in the corner. The defense gravitated towards Edwards as he got in the paint. He found an open Mike Conley on the corner, and he knocked down a three. Thunder immediately called timeout. From that point on, the Thunder then went on a 10-0 run. And during the Thunder's 10-0 run, not a single time did I see that Anthony Edwards initiated the offense to get a similar look as Mike Conley just got to knock down an open three-point shot. From that point on, I saw a passive Anthony Edwards, someone that did not demand the basketball. He was just kind of resting and chilling in the corner, allowing guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, allowing guys like Mike Conley and Naz Reid to initiate offense. When the Timberwolves were up by 4 and had an opportunity to put their foot on the gas pedal and get up by double digits entering the fourth quarter. Why was Anthony Edwards passive in that third quarter and in the fourth quarter? Because this was not a superstar performance from a player that we want to see consistent superstar performances from. 18 points, 5 of 13, only 13 shots, 3 for 8 from the three-point line, 5 of 7 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 4 turnovers, 4 personal fouls, and maybe the biggest knock on Edwards. He was the worst on the Timberwolves roster in the plus-minus category and was a minus 23 when he was on the court. This next worst was Naz Reid, who was a minus 21. He went 1 for 11. He played his worst basketball game I think I've ever seen in his career. So I don't understand why Edwards, from the point the Wolves went up 60-56, became passive and indecisive and didn't attack the paint or be aggressive with his shot after the Wolves were up by 4. Because then the Thunder went on their run, and then the game was practically over. Edwards sat at the end of the third quarter, and I think everybody was anticipating that, okay, he's going to sit at the end of the third, 1 minute left, and then he's going to be in the fourth to start so that maybe the Wolves can make one final good run at the game. Well, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander takes a break to start the fourth. Edwards is going to come in, and the Wolves are going to make their run, and it's going to be a competitive finish. Edwards did not come in until about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it was a double-digit game at this point, and there was hardly any time or any momentum to gain after Edwards went in. And it was just a performance that had a lot of people wondering what the heck is going on, because Edwards was passive. The bench mob combined to go 7 for 36. Naz Reid, 1 for 11, 0 for 7 from 3. Dante DiVincenzo, 3 for 14, 3 for 12 from 3. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 3 for 11, 2 of 9 for 3. The only really great takeaway from this performance is that hopefully, I'm going to say hopefully, because I think we all know that it can, hopefully it does not get any worse from this point on for the Timberwolves bench unit and for the Timberwolves starters. Because this is as horrendous a performance as you could ever witness in game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, following a Thunder series that went 7 games with the Denver Nuggets. Julius Randle was the only bright spot. 9 for 13, 5 of 6 from the three-point line, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 28 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. But he too had 5 turnovers. The Timberwolves are not facing the Golden State Warriors without Curry. And they are not facing a 40-year-old LeBron James and a Luka Doncic who is slow. They are facing a juggernaut, a team defensively that is long and athletic and can move quicker than any of the opponents that they've seen so far in the playoffs, which means the Wolves' intensity needs to ascend to a new height that they have never played at before. And I think that's the biggest concern going into the series. Can the Wolves take their game to another level? Because what we saw in Golden State and versus the Lakers is a team that struggled throughout those games, but were younger and fresher in the fourth quarter, and then they just kind of took over. The Thunder can match the Wolves' athleticism offensively and defensively. So you cannot go through these 4 to 5 minute lulls of not scoring the basketball and expect to win the game. And that's what you saw. The Thunder went on a 17-2 run in the third quarter when Edwards became passive, and the game was over. The Wolves could never get back into it. And the game was over. The Timberwolves had 6 turnovers in their first 7 minutes in the first quarter. And they only finished with 17, so they corrected that issue as the game went on. But 6 turnovers in the first 7 minutes. You're not playing 35, 36-year-olds anymore to advance to the NBA Finals. You are playing athletic 27-year-old guys, 26-year-old guys in their prime that can lock down. So Edwards and really the whole Wolves roster needs to take their game to another level, especially the bench. A combined 7 for 36. And Dante DiVincenzo's firing heat check threes when he was 1 for 8. Here's the role DiVincenzo needs to play. Okay, if you're feeling yourself, if you've knocked down 2 or 3 threes, let go of the heat check. Let's see what happens. But until that point, you camp your ass in the corner. You wait for Edwards to break down the defense. Edwards kicks it out and you knock down an open 3. That's your role. That's your game. But to come and bring the ball up the court, to receive one simple screen from Gobert or whoever, and then to just jack and brick it, you finish 3 for 12 from the 3-point line. That is not good basketball. A lot of people are discussing Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and their first finger, of course, doesn't go to the Timberwolves' performance. It always goes to the officials, because it's never the Timberwolves that lost the game. It's the officials. It's the NBA that are out to get Minnesota sports fans. One, I'll say this. The Oklahoma City Thunder committed 22 personal fouls throughout the entire game. The Minnesota Timberwolves committed 22 personal fouls. If you want evenness, the officials called the same amount of fouls on the Timberwolves and on the Oklahoma City Thunder. So you cannot point to the foul discrepancy and say, you called 40 fouls on the Timberwolves and only 15 on the Thunder. It was even. 22-22. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 11 of 14 from the free throw line. So it's not like he was at the free throw line 20 times. Although I will say and admit that the physicality, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one, there is an art to drawing fouls and ricocheting your body off of others at certain angles to get to the free throw line, and he has almost perfected that. But two, I will say that the officials have called Shai Gilgeous-Alexander differently than anybody else that I have seen throughout these entire playoffs. Because throughout the entire playoffs, they have let everybody play. Contact, physicality, it has all been a part of the game. And Bill Simmons sent out a tweet on X and said this: I don't care who wins this game. The touch foul calls SGA gets are really awful. They don't resemble anything else that's happening in the playoffs. And that's the biggest problem with it, is the inconsistent officiating towards SGA that we have not seen towards any other player so far in these playoffs. Because the dude falls over and over again in game one, and he was receiving the benefit of the whistle. But let me make this clear. That is not why the Timberwolves lost this basketball game. They lost this game because the Thunder outsmarted, out-physicaled, outshot, and outplayed the Timberwolves players. And one thing real quick, I love this. I love it. The Timberwolves shot 51 threes, 29%. The Oklahoma City Thunder shot 21 threes and made 11. They shot 50%. I love the Thunder brand of basketball. The fact that they are not so reliant on knocking down a ton of threes every game to win basketball games. They rely on the mid-range game, points in the paint, and the foul game. And that's how they win. That's how they win basketball games, which is such a relief from 51 threes a game, 60 threes a game, 23s in the first quarter, whatever the case may be. I love that the Thunder look at the way the game is played. They shove it down other teams' throats and say, hey, we're going to mid-range game you to death, and we are going to score in the paint and score from the free throw line. So credit to the Thunder for taking a different approach to the game than 99% of the NBA, because they only shot 21 threes. Some teams shoot 21 threes in a quarter. But the Thunder are selective on the amount of threes that they take so that they can get the best shot available. And the Timberwolves live and die by the three. Some games they're 25, 29% from the three-point line. Other games they're 50, 60% from the three-point line. They are hit or miss. They're inconsistent. One more thing on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the way the Timberwolves can adjust the way they play. What you saw from the Thunder defensively against Edwards, they were physical with Edwards immediately from the top of the key. And that's what you need to do with SGA. You need to be physical with him immediately as he crosses half court. Because when you're physical with him there and they don't call the foul, the physicality you have with him as he enters the mid-range game doesn't look as physical. And he can't flop job that as much. He can't sell that as much if you're already physical with him at half court. So the adjustment the Wolves need to make versus the Thunder in game 2 is to be physical with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as soon as he steps across half court or as he's bringing the ball up the court. Because when he attacks and gets into driving lanes and into the paint, and then you're physical with him, he's too good at selling that and ricocheting his body off of defenders, and it looks like a foul. So the way to not make it look like a foul is to be physical with him as he crosses half court or as he's bringing the ball up the court. Because then there's not such a differential in how you're playing him defensively. If you go from, okay, we're not touching you, to we're going to put your hands on you as you enter the paint, well, then he's going to flop job that one, he's going to sell it, and he's going to get to the free throw line. But he only shot 14 free throws. It's not like he was living and dying from the free throw line. The Timberwolves lost this game because they could not shoot the ball, and they did not take care of the ball. And Anthony Edwards was passive. So the hope of this game is that it was just a feeling out game. It was just let's see what you got here. But it was disappointing because the Thunder looked like the fresher team after playing a 7-game series. And Anthony Edwards looked passive and was not playing like a superstar because I don't think he is one yet. He has too many of these performances. Anyways, thank you for watching and for listening. Remember, 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Check them out today and get your bathroom remodel done quick and done right. It's the best. Affordable payment plans and free consultations available. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. On to game 2 we go. Timberwolves down 0-1. Better come back.